Jadon Sancho has finally swallowed humble pie and decided to take down his pinned tweet that was responding to comments from his boss Erik ten Hag concerning his quality during training en route to our last game. Now, what does this mean? Remember, the crunch talks were held yesterday, and according to the reports we got from the Daily Star and the Mirror Football, it was said Sancho is about to push to leave Manchester United. Welcome to the Hotspot. My name is Webb, and glad you've subscribed. If you haven't, please do subscribe as we do build to 5k subscribers. That's what we want to hit. But let's get the news, guys. Jadon Sancho, is he finally swallowing humble pie and deciding to do the right thing, listen to his elders, listen to his boss? Now, guys, I hate to take sides in things I do not have the detail about, but the Jadon Sancho situation at Manchester United has been as confusing as our performances at times. Because look, whereas we all agree that Sancho has not really put in the shift we expected from him, the reality is he's a young boy who needs some bit of time to grow. And I mean, these young boys have got to be handled in a certain way. But also, there are people who feel that Sancho is, I think, a victim of Anthony and the love affair between him and Erik ten Hag, because his signing bought him for a lot of money, and he has got to prove that he's good. That is why he's not giving Jadon Sancho enough chances. So, from the talks, the two had, of course, we learned that they failed to reach a compromise. They failed to agree. It seemed the egos were not meeting. There were two egos that could never come to a compromise. So what happened? First, we saw Sancho keeping the tweet there, but as it is now, the tweet is no longer there. So what does that mean? Could things change for Sancho? Could he perhaps finally be remorseful, sought for another meeting maybe with Ten Hag, and made an apology and hoped he can be given another chance to prove himself? Because the situation, there is a defined opportunity for him to save his career at Manchester United right now, because Anthony is not there, and obviously he's the other obvious person to come in and take that right wing position clearly. But what on earth is going to be happening? Sancho has been he's a talented player without a doubt, and no one has questioned his talent. He has always been more talented than the Bukayo Sakas of this world. He just I think got talented players are always fun at times. They get issues, but I think he just failed to work on himself and improve himself, because hard work, they say, can beat talent where talent sleeps. So maybe his talent went to sleep, and the likes of Bukayo Saka, he was even a better footballer than Jude Bellingham, a better footballer than Erling Haaland at Borussia Dortmund. He's a very talented young player. But of course, a club like Manchester United will always want, demand more than your talent. Cristiano Ronaldo, very talented, but he has always been hardworking. Everyone who speaks about Ronaldo talks about how hardworking he has always been. And that is exactly what Cristiano Ronaldo said when he was leaving Manchester United, that some of these kids are good, they are talented, but they think things will just come easy. So I hope Sancho, maybe after taking down his tweet, because we all have a small heart. I think all United supporters have a little bit of hope in Sancho, saying it's not all gone for him. There's that little bit of hope, a drop of hope in all of us, that actually if he's given the chance and he's playing consistently, he can perform to the expectations we had, and to what the levels we saw him even higher than what we saw him display at Borussia Dortmund. But this is a young player, and whereas Erik ten Hag is a ruthless manager, you reach a point and you start questioning his style, and you're thinking, should he be ruthless on everyone to prove a point? Because these are young kids. You need to help them. You need to manage them and keep them and get the best out of them, because the kids of today are not made of the same metal as footballers of back then. So it's a bit of a tricky situation that Erik ten Hag is in, but at least now there is a bit of progress from Sancho taking down his tweet, which should be obviously a good thing. That should perhaps give us hope that things are moving in the right direction for Manchester United. Hotspot, subscribe. We're talking Manchester United, and I do continue to ban you with Manchester United news. Now, guys, Bruno Fernandes has been the talk of the international break. Why? Because of his Trivera assist, and of course all over the Manchester United website. They are talking about how he perfected the Trivela. And, the reality is Bruno is such a talented footballer. And I hope we build a group of players around him that will enable him express himself. And that's why I keep saying whenever he's played out of position, and by out of position I mean him being played on the right, not on the through the middle, as a number 10 to be precise, I think we lose his talent, because for me he's more expressive when he's given that kind of freedom. But I think no Cristiano Ronaldo for Portugal, no problems. If Bruno is there, well, so obviously things are going to go well. So for me, if this international break is anything to go by, I think Manchester United will take Brighton to footballing school. If these players come with that confidence, with the same levels they have shown in this international break, I will tell you, Brighton, who beat us home and away last season, will be taken to footballing school, because we have players who are looking fired up, and that's, for me, is the most important thing. It's not that these players are never talented. We don't have crazy scouts who just go and get players from streets and all. These players are scouted for a long, huge period of time. Højlund was monitored by scouts for years at Atalanta. We've monitored players in France and everywhere. Some of the players we've been monitoring for a long time. Sadly, we haven't signed yet. Maybe we will sign them in the future. Amrabat has been monitored for a long time. So these players are talented. The only issue is at times, they fail to get the psych. They are not psyched up, and that can happen for a whole lot of reasons. If you played football before, you know that you need a certain psych for you to be able to perform. That is why players who are looking bad actually perform so well in big games like derbies, grudge matches for United, games against Arsenal. Even the worst players will step up their ante. Why? Because the psyche is there. It's a natural psyche. This is our opponent. This is our nemesis, a perennial nemesis. Nemesis, we've got to beat them. So the psyche is naturally there. So I do hope these players now are psyched up, at least by the performances they have put on in their national teams, but also the fact that there looks to be a bit of direction and progress at Manchester United in terms of the things we are doing. So for me, that's my only hope. But I think it will happen, and I like the fact that we are reorganizing early into the season. Well, the Antony situation and of course this Jadon Sancho matter, which I feel for me is not such a huge deal, because Sancho is not our most important player, to be honest. But I don't feel it should be such a huge deal. Of course, you would say so because of the situation, because there is a gap in the right wing, and you look at him as the other player who should come in and play in the right wing. You need a right winger, and there is talks of United's priority now being giving a contract, extending the contract of Facundo Peristri, obviously, which would be good. That's what you want to hear. I was against him being loaned out. He has proved that he can come out there and perform, and without Antony there, he can come in and be second fiddle, a direct second fiddle to Sancho if Sancho's head is down. But I also believe Pelistri, give him 3-4 consecutive games, he can actually surprise us and perform for Manchester United. So yeah, so for me, I think yes, Sancho's issues are there. He has taken down the tweet. What does that mean? We are yet to know. Maybe he has swallowed humble pie. That would be a good thing. But the bigger picture for me is that Manchester United now has got to now have players with confidence that they can come out there and beat any team, including Brighton, which arguably is the most stubborn team in the Premier League, at least if last season is anything to go by. Hotspot, subscribe. My name is Webb. I will be back later to give you more Manchester United talk.